We know when they go live.
Okay, we're live. We're on.
We are
All
live
right. Good
on.
evening. Yes, Greg. We're on.
Good evening,
Good
good evening, good
evening.
evening. How's
This
everybody
is
doing? Live in the
yeah,
person.
I'm doing
Good
fine. I'm
evening,
doing
good evening,
fine.
good evening. Hey Denise, how you feel?
I'm doing okay, Greg. I'm doing
Good,
okay.
good. For those in the
Yeah.
audience, let me just tell you real quick. First of all, we're very thankful that you've joined us this evening for a very, very important mission and movement, not a moment. This particular, I believe, organization and group of people have it right. And I think with the grace and the blessings and the favor of God, this will indeed yield the type of fruit that we need in our community to be more productive. A little bit about um, RRBGC is to repair, restore, grow Black communities. And the goal is to save the Black communities in the Chicago area by working to strengthen Black owned business. We host every week. We'll be hosting shows like this weekly, bringing on businessmen, businesswomen, folks that are doing things in the community that many of us know about and many of us don't know about. And so this is the time for us to really, really begin to strengthen the community by not just marketing, but learning from these particular business people. So I think that, one of the things that, I love one of the founders or the president, Denise, who you're looking at right now, they're the concept, and we got a guest this evening and a very, powerful young man, Michael Van Trese. We're going to talk to Mike. He's a brother that's into construction. But before we do that, Denise, I think, when I reflect on some of the things that I've heard you and Doris communicate, it's good that you share it because it's so much from your heart. Although people can write scripts and all of that, but I like the fact that you speak from your heart about the mission, the overall objective of um, RRGBC. And I think it would be great for you to give the audience a snippet of what that really means from the heart and why are you so passionate about this mission.
Absolutely, Greg. We're a small group of committed people to trying to save our communities. We walk through our communities here in Chicago. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. And if anybody knows better, they can see that our communities are dying. And this didn't just happen during the COVID virus. It didn't just happen in the last few years. This has been going on for decades
I agree.
as a result of the onslaught of drugs and crack cocaine into our community, the diversionary practices of moving resources from to other places when they were supposed to come to our homeowners, to programs in our communities, to our schools, to our businesses, the saturation of immigrant-owned businesses into our communities with people who have set up businesses in our communities, and the money is going straight out the door. No reinvestment. Most of the time, even refusing to give jobs to Black people who work in the community. So if you constantly take and take from something and you give nothing back, what do you expect to have? And then you have, what they call gentrification, where gentrification is supposed to be coming in to improve a community. But in the case of Black communities, it usually ends up being the destruction of the Black community. And I have seen right here in Chicago, Greektown, for instance, Little Italy over on Taylor. Those are areas where the university moved in, but they didn't destroy all of the businesses in those communities. And so we see the businesses as a way of stabilizing a community because they provide jobs, they provide opportunities for other people, other entrepreneurs in the community.
Mm-hmm.
They they serve as role models for the children, and depending on how well their business is doing, they can do business with other Black businesses for their products and their services. And so there's so much that our businesses can do to help us and to maintain that sense of community there, and for people to know that Black people ever even lived there. And so it's important that we support them. So we're raising dollars to go in and support them. And we're using this social media platform to establish dialogue and to give the businesses a voice to talk about what have they been going through? What has it been like for them while all of these different adversities have been going on, and all of this was going on, like I said, way before COVID, and it's COVID has just made it worse. And so this is not, we don't see this as an entertainment show. This is information, dialogue, and a call to action. We have to do something. We can't continue to sit back and look and talk and complain. We have to begin to come together, and we're hoping that this dialogue will begin to create a sense of collectiveness, of how important it is for us to work together. Beautiful, and one of the other things that we have created on our website is around our Black bookstores. We're featuring a local Black-owned bookstore on our website every month. And so this month is Frontline. And Brother Sekou has presented us with 10 must-reads of books. And our people need to read. Our people need to become knowledgeable about our history and who we are, our condition, and strategies that have been used in the past that have worked to help us, overcome and still be standing. And so we need to read so we can discern for ourselves as individuals. I think too often we follow people and we let other people tell us what to do and who to vote for and where to go and who to like and who not to like and how to dress and so on and so forth.
That's right.
And people need to start reading. And our local Black bookstores have some great books. Some of them are gold mines of information that we need. These people stopped us. They didn't want us to know how to read. There was a time where, you were really punished if you didn't learn how to read. So we have that opportunity and we should be reading books. And on top of that, we're allowing the proprietors of the bookstore of the month to select a book that we will give away. And in giving that book away, you will have an opportunity to learn some information or to pass some information on. And in addition, this is for our subscribers to our email. So all you have to do is be a subscriber on our email. And at the end of the month, we will draw a name and that person will receive the book.
Oh, great.
So
great.
That's another way that that's something else that we're doing rather to try to help our community.
That's a hell of a concept too, the book giveaway. And really it does promote something that we need desperately to do. And that's read. Mm-hmm. We have to read more, study more, research more. I would like to, before we bring our guests on, when you said what you said, I found this prayer that deals with economics, deals with empowerment. It says, the prayer of empowerment is as follows: Lord, Strengthen us as we are weary, and increase our power, for we are weak. Allow us to put this knowledge into practice and rise like a phoenix from our current situation to transform our lives and the lives of our families, and to be a blessing to those who are the least, last, and left out. Amen. We need all of that. And that's why the acronym RRGBC, repair, restore, grow Black communities, is such a powerful, powerful way of addressing this big deal. Look, Black people in America, Denise, face a serious economic problem. And I don't care how much stimulus money Biden gives out. I don't care how much of that. It is unorganized. And so you just giving money because you know the state and the condition that our people are in. So that's like you giving some money to children and they just go and spend it on stuff and they don't have a plan, because if those children knew right at that age that if they pooled that money together and they had some ideas, then that money can grow Black communities forever. And that's what we don't have. And so this problem is a direct result of Black people being solely dependent upon others for our existence. This problem has existed for the last 400 and some years in America. And look, against our own wills. And look, 400 years, Denise. And after 400 years, here's 40 plus Black people, 40 plus million Black people, and we only own 2% of the wealth in America. That is a crime.
Yes, it is.
That's pathetic. And yet they put in front of us a few celebrities here and there, a movie we can have, we laugh, a good movie, and we go back to sleep, sometime in a deeper sleep. But anyway, I think our guest is here, right? I guess, or will he come on later? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to talking with him. But before, if the guest is not here, Denise, I think Doris, I thought I saw her pop into the studio.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can only hear you. We can see your beautiful face with those fly glasses on. Oh, you look good. I'm so glad that you were able to join. I'm so proud of the work that you and Denise and this organization is doing, and how you have, and for a long time, people have to know you are a divine educator is one thing, so is Denise, but your education and your thrust in that has all been about what
People.
Carter G. Woodson meant in his book.
That's right.
Education of the Negro. We get degrees out of degrees, but there's not any transformation in our community.
That's right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm so glad to have you on board, Brother Gregory. We've known each other for a long time. We've been on the battlefield.
40 years.
That's right, on the battlefield. And I'm very excited about this because I think we can do a whole lot in terms of turning this nightmare. It's really a nightmare as to what's going on in the Black community today. Everybody's in our communities but us. So I think with us doing this, and this is Denise's concept, and when she brought it to my attention, I just jumped on board because she's such a great sister and she's sincere, she's dedicated as I am, and you can't find too many of us like that anymore. So I think what we're doing is really going to make a difference. People aren't catching on, you know, but I'm just so happy to be a part of this because, as I say to people all the time, I really don't have time for foolishness. I don't have time for Black people not having an agenda and getting along and pushing this agenda because we're in serious trouble.
Yes, we
We're in
are.
serious trouble. We can boast about having a $1.3 trillion spending power, but all of it is going to everybody else. It's only 2% that's coming back to the Black community and Black businesses. So a program like this, an organization like this, is very, very needed. So I am so thankful to Allah that you are a part of this. So
And it's
take it away.
timely, Doris, and it's timely because this concept speaks volumes of who you are. See, this is a concept where it's not a plaything.
Right.
It's about integrity. And so when you look at a movement like this, a program, to give out information, to let you know, introduce you to, folks out there, they business, to talk about how do we repair it? How do we restore it? How do we grow your business in the Black communities? And then I have to say this, whether people like it or don't, we cannot survive by the influx of businesses or whatever we want to call them in our community that are crummy, that don't have no respect for us, don't have no regard for us, inferior products, don't live in the community, can't wait to get out the community, and really have no business serving us in the community. So we have in Chicagoland, and you and Denise know that we have some successful business
Absolutely, yeah.
women, Black men and women, and we don't need an Arab. I have to say this.
That's right.
Running a mom and pop. So that ain't my mom or pop. So you got strangers in our community, and it's one thing if they embrace the community, but they haven't. They don't live it. They can't wait to drive out of it, but they come in and they sell it. We have to change that, and by exposing it, but then introducing a group of Black businessmen and women that have been working their butt off, trying to stay afloat to provide economic development, economic opportunity, and jobs for our people. And I'm sick and tired of somebody just throwing some crumbs, to disorganized people, disunified people. Here's the stimulus package. It won't change nothing for Black people, period.
Nope. And Greg, the other thing is all other ethnic groups are working as a collective. All of these other ethnic groups are working as a collective. And how can we survive in an environment where every other ethnic group is working together, working collectively, spending their dollars together, and we're not?
Sad. It's sad.
We cannot survive like that.
But Denise,
we're all over the place. We're the first ones to start yelling diversity,
Foolishly.
We cannot survive like that.
Being gentrified, communities overtaken, unhealthy. But everybody want to move in the community because the price is right. And no connection whatsoever. But here's a sleeping giant, and all kind of moving parts are going on right while we are asleep. All the talent in the world, all the skills in the world, all the abilities in the world, etc. And yet we are still on the bottom. That don't make any sense. It makes no sense that we are still struggling today, but we're going to get it right. The timing is perfect.
Yeah.
The timing is perfect right now. And I think our community has been waiting on a group of people, because you hear all kinds of people on radio shows, and they on these shows doors to make money. They selling commercials.
Right. Right.
Most of it's entertainment, and it's not sincere. And then they go along to get along. They're not really pushing the transformation of our community. Not at all. And
well,
it's
this is a
owe
conversation.
somebody something. They believe
Greg,
they owe somebody something.
Greg, this is a conversation that we've got to keep going in the Black community to make so that they can become conscious of really what's happening to us.
Yeah.
We're in pretty bad shape. And I just don't hear that conversation the way it needs to be heard. So this is what we're going to be about, bringing it to the Black community every week and just pounding on their doors and saying to them, this is where we are, and this is what we're going to have to do if we're going to come out of this mess.
Absolutely. No doubt. No doubt. And we will come out of it. We just cannot throw the white flag up. We cannot start it and stop it. We cannot get discouraged. We cannot be weary. We must know that God is on our side. And we just have to know it's our time. We've heard that before, but what happens is they put these other people out front, gatekeepers and all, they put them out front and they decide to come out with this old stuff. We are the world. We are diverse people. We are liberal, all of that crap. And it don't move the needle. We have to be very intentional. We have to be very deliberate.
Right.
Making this work. We cannot go along to get along. We don't have nothing against any group of people, period. But our work and dedication must be for Black people, unapologetically for our community. And if
because when
they feel that way, and if we don't do it in this spirit with this level of energy and this frequency, damn it, it ain't gonna be done. All we gonna do is sugarcoat the movement.
That's right.
And wait on some benevolent government that ain't never ever liberated us. Damn it, it's 2021 and we still behind the damn 8 ball.
And when they talk about diversity, people of color, minority, they are not talking about us anymore. And we need to understand that, because we were the first people of color, but now it's everybody in
it's a joke.
It's a big joke. It's a big joke.
And the people who behind that stupid stuff are really the people who want to water it down. And they're the ones who saying, guess what? Well, if that's the case, then we're going to lump everybody. That's like all of a sudden the school's supposed to have been teaching Black history. Now they got to teach LGBTQ
and all that stuff.
Black history. So you got to learn about something that you can't even learn about. I mean, if you talk about history, and look, and let me just say this for the record, we respect people regardless of what your choice of human sexuality, that's your business.
That's right.
Damn it, you don't have enough about that for me to study whatsoever. So stop it. Because if I study it, then I'm going to ask you, are you going to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah?
Right.
How are you going to go with this? So stop it. Stop it. Let us respect people for who they are, but do not lump no other cause with the Black cause, because we got that much of catching up to do. You destroyed our community. You destroyed our people. Just like Rosewood, just like Oklahoma, you destroyed our communities. And now we're here to repair, restore, and grow healthy, productive Black community.
And you know, Greg, I was listening to a speech by Martin Luther King, and he was talking about the liberal. And he said one of the things that they fought against, the reason they joined the marches, is because they were talking against the brutality against Black people, against Black people getting beat up, against Black people getting sick by dogs, sicked on by dogs.
Right.
But when it came to the issue of equality, they did not support that. And they never have, and they still don't. And his words ring just as true today as they did when he was speaking. Nothing has changed. We need to be
Zero.
we need to be a protected class of people.
We need to be ashamed of
We need-
ourselves, Denise. We need to be ashamed of ourselves because we had a man that was considered a black man in the White's house for 8 years, managing their affairs for 8 years. And look at the black community. See, that's because we wanted to be. And when you hear black people say the most stupid things, I mean, it's stupid for you to say, well, you know, he ain't the president just for black people. That's why we in trouble.
That's
why we in trouble. Why not look out for your own? You ain't got to discriminate against anybody. You ain't got to hold anybody back, but damn it, you should put your people in the front of the line. Everybody else does it. So we want to get in there and like, I want see, and it's so foolish because that means it didn't work. It didn't work with all of that people said, give him 4 more years. No, he should have been promoting this.
No, they said even worse than that. Given 4 more years, they said he's not the black president. That was the other mantra that they sang. When you went to ask him, when you wanted to ask him to do something, he's not the black president. And this was coming from black people.
Right, coming from black people. We weren't even talking about some stupid policies that are definitely racist, but we were talking about how do you make black men and women millionaires. These are contracts that the same family, the same people continue to get. I mean, there's so many things right here locally in Chicago, and when you follow the dollar, you're gonna see it's the same
people, same
construction companies on the expressway. I mean, generational wealth from off of our backs, on and on. There go brother Michael.
Yeah, I think our guest is here, brother Michael Van Trese.
That's one of my.
How you doing, Michael?
Brother Greg.
What up, son?
How you doing, sir?
Good. Same fight, different round, Michael.
You already know.
Bob and weave. You on here with 2 powerful sisters right here, man, and they seeked you out. And I'm telling you, man, this is a great time to speak with brothers like you, man. And Mike, I am very proud. I've known this young man for a long time.
50 years.
50 years. I heard yours and Denise's name. I was like, damn, that's my family. And Michael here, I've been knowing this young man for a very, very long time.
Yes, sir.
So, Mike, what you doing in construction, brother?
Well, we're doing total rehab, anything from the ground up all the way to from the smallest job to the biggest job. But what I'm doing in rehab, Brother Greg, is trying to get these little brothers in it. That's what's happening. And the little sisters, we know they doing what they supposed to be doing. They doing their thing. But it's time to get these little brothers into the rehab as well. Because the construction industry, man, you wouldn't believe how much knowledge, for one. Because we ain't gonna go right into the money aspect of it. But it's quite a bit of money involved as well, as you know, because the one thing that I really want to emphasize, Greg, this evening is the little brothers behind the wall, the little brothers out here on the street, the little brothers that came from where we came from, Robert Taylor Homes, you heard it. And what we need to do is get them in this industry, man, because it's a trade that can no one take it from you. Once you learn it, it's yours. And it's
how long have you been in it, Mike?
Say it again.
How long have you been in it?
27 years, Greg. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah. 27 years in construction.
And what has it been like?
I saw so many different transformations because when I first got involved, I was 15 years old. And I have to commend Mr. Brandon because I still call him Mr. Brandon. You know how we do.
That's right.
He brought me in, Greg, and he said, young man, he saw us in the park. And he saw that all these guys was around me and we was talking. And I was the one talking.
Wow.
And he grabbed me. He said, come here. You know, back then we had long hair.
That's right.
And we didn't want to get our hair dirty, for one. And I messed around and he told me, man, I want you to go dump all these garbage, Greg, all these garbages, Greg. It was
That's fine.
it was a building on 80th and Woodlawn, 80th and University, and a building on 75th and King Drive. And both of them was like 35 units. And I had to dump all the garbage. I did it. I did it.
Wow.
He hired me. Greg, he was paying me $6 an hour. In there had to be about 75.
That was good money.
$6 an hour was a lot of money, man. You hear me? And what I did, what really gassed him out, I hired my brother and his friend. I told them, you guys, I want you over here and I want you over there, picking up the garbage and dumping it in the Gondolian. They did it. So that was the road to getting in the construction industry. And that's where it started with Mr. Brandon. And after that, he rode me around in his big old blue van to every job site that he had. Because you better believe, like I tell my guys today, Greg, we built this country. Everybody else rehabbing it.
Ooh.
You hear me? We built
Man,
this.
I need that on a t-shirt.
Man, put that on the t-shirt. We built this country. Everybody else is rehabbing it. And ever since back then, that had to be, like I say, 75. Ever since then, I've been in the construction industry. I went to the military, Marine Corps.
Okay.
And right after I came back out, I went right back into the construction.
How long were you in the military? 6
years, man.
Oh, wow. Good. Yeah. And in the
Marine Corps. Yes,
sir. Oh,
sir.
you're a tough brother, man. You know, brothers don't be going to the Marines.
Hold on. My father was a Marine, Greg. You heard
me?
But
you know, it's hard. We have to talk about that some other time, but I know Marine ain't easy to become a Marine.
Well, it ain't hard to become a Marine either now. We got to respect the industry. It's called the United States of America. Protect this country. This is our country too. You feeling me?
Oh yeah. Well, it actually was ours before it was anybody else.
Come on, man.
And just like you say, we built it and everybody else rehabbing it.
Yes, sir.
So it's our country and everybody else is claiming it. And they use the terminology. What are some of the ups and downs?
Well, let me tell you,
deal with in this industry.
Honestly, Greg, it's the contracts, getting the contracts. You put your best foot forward, and for the most part, they want at least 3 bids on every contract, and we licensed, bonded, and insured, city, state, and county. You put your bids in, and I know all the contractors know this as well as I do, that they already know who they're gonna pick for the job, but you still want to keep on moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had quite a few small jobs that was big, but to really get deep into the bigger jobs, you got to have all your I's dotted and T's crossed as being a black man and being a black contractor. Yeah.
All right. And I'm glad you said that you've had some successes, and which means you've definitely had some prosperity with some of the jobs you've had. Are you where you want to be in this industry?
No, Greg. We both. I'm 59. I'm 60 years old, man, and I've been doing this 27 years. So I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I know that I've made an impact on a lot of young brothers, and that's so much more satisfactory to me than any amount of money, man, is to keep these little brothers moving forward.
Now, how do you attract? And I know there's a group. I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Carter and Tyrone Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Those guys. And I know,
And Karen Hicks.
and
Yes,
Karen
sir.
Hicks and all of,
And Harold Davis.
and Brother
Yes, sir.
Harold, man, may God be pleased
You better know it.
with Brother Harold, man. Now, when you look at this industry, because I always think about all of this construction every summer. They even doing it now in the wintertime when it comes to the roadways, right? The highways, that construction, and then a lot of infrastructure. Do you
Exactly.
ever get invited to any of those bids or those businesses like as a subcontractor?
I've been invited to quite a few bids, to be honest, but I've had throughout our company no problem cleaning, MRV construction, SSM construction. These are our companies, and we've been invited to quite a few bids. But I guess it's a couple contracts that I can really reiterate on that was a nice size contract. I say over a couple 100,000. Nice size contracts that I was a part of. But to say that I was involved in the major contracts, no.
Yeah, because I remember, when you look at all of the cranes down in the loop area, I guess they've slowed down now since this pestilence pandemic.
No, they haven't.
But they haven't, huh? They
No,
still, wow.
This industry, Greg, has been thriving throughout the pandemic. We haven't missed a beat, And if you go downtown, if you pay attention to them cranes, they moving every morning, and sometimes even in the evening.
Wow.
But the bottom line is that's one of the dreams that when you drive through as a general contractor that's been around as long as I have and been watching this as long as I have, when you drive down there, you always dream of having that contract. So
what do you recommend, or before you even do any recommendations, what message do you want to get out this evening in this industry of construction? How do we as a community, because there are folks who understand it to a degree, but how do we take advantage of this industry where Black construction companies begins to do the work for us versus Polish people, Latino, because it's real? And how do we change that narrative, that whole premise in terms of doing business with Black construction companies? Do people know, how well are you known?
Quite a few companies know me. But what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna say something so.
Because Elsie Higginbottom and
Larry Huggins. Yeah, they these guys. Now, what I'm not gonna do, Greg, is criticize no.
Good. But I'm saying, how are you positioned like them?
What I'm gonna share with you, these guys been around for quite some time, and they done paid their dues, man. It's just time to pass the torch. But what I'm gonna share with you, Greg,
Thank you.
It's so minor. What has to happen, and what I'm finna say to you, you heard it over and over again, Brother Greg, is look out your front door. Karen says that all the time. This is where the construction started. It started right here in our backyard. If you look out your front door and you got all these bottles and ECT, et cetera, if you got all that in front of your house, that's construction. Clean it up. That's where it started, Greg. It started right here in the neighborhood. Do you remember when they used to put them flower pots down there?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I'm finna take you there. Do you remember when they used to put them flower pots out there?
Yeah.
We played football on that same lot. but we ran right around them flower pots, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We did not tackle in them flower
No,
pots.
we did not.
So,
No, we
Greg,
did not.
so when you look out your front door in the industry, that's called infrastructure, because that all is infrastructure. When you look out your front door and you can see grass growing, flowers blooming, trees blossoming, you in the industry. You that's your first step to being a part of the industry, right there.
Wow, that's powerful.
Trust me, bro.
That's very powerful. And I like the fact that you said pass torch.
That's it.
And because now the question is, it's different aspects of construction.
Exactly.
And so you got the larger construction companies, smaller construction companies, but then like people who break down real estate, break down construction for our people so they'll know exactly what that really means.
Well, construction is building, repairing, and enhancing beauty within the community. Because I'm going to stay in our community, Greg. You heard me? That's all. The construction part of it is going down to City Hall and sitting in if you have to, because that's what all the other entities do. They're sitting the office of the mayor and demand a part of this. What we have to do as Black people is sit in the office of the mayor, sit in the office of the governor, sit in the office of the alderman, and let them know that we are here and we are not going anywhere. Because I can look back on a lot of people that mentored me, Greg.
Yeah, a lot of them too.
A lot of people, man. You know, we didn't live like these little brothers living, and that's not taking nothing from them. But we had a lot of adult males, Black men, telling us, "Take your little butt to school."
Oh,
and you went to school. Take your little butt to high school, and you went to school. Take your little butt to the trade or college, and you went to it. That's what's lacking. We don't have the manpower to build our community into what it's supposed to be. And let me rephrase that. We do have the manpower. We just got to do it. And that's all a part of the industry, Greg. You hear me?
wow.
It starts at home, man. It starts right here at home.
Right. So when you look at what we got going right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about the community as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is the major reason for us not realizing our potential in this area? Is it more education? When you think about the trades, because coming up, you could go over to Dunbar High School, you can go over to CVS, DuSable had different trades there. Today, are you involved? Do you well, I know we're not going into schools now, but before that, did you go inside of schools and you were educating and telling young men there that the opportunities for construction was amazing?
What's interesting, I worked for Wrigley's Gum, and I was a motivated speaker.
Okay.
And I went from CVS High School to Orr High School, from the south side to the west side. And I'm explaining to these young brothers what the trades have to offer. Not only the trades, but what life has to offer us as Black people.
Right.
And to Greg to go to Great America and watch a little brother run up to me and say, "Oh man, you was that motivated speaker. You was that guy that talked to us." Because we have a background as far as our lives is concerned. And see, and because the construction industry is is one of the biggest industries in the world, not just the country. So we saw all these skyscrapers go up. I'm talking about around the world, Greg. And I can't reiterate enough where it starts at home, man. You know, this start when you're talking to your children, when you're talking to other people's children, when you sharing the ideas and the history of what we've done, what we've accomplished in the construction industry. Come on now, we invented so many things that's a part of construction right now. I'm trying to put ideas together that I'm not going to expose a lot of, to help the industry work as easy. I'm talking about with equipment and excuse me, man. I just went a little deep there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I can tell, if you know, before I talk about or ask you the question about what do you see your company in the future, and as you know, RRGBC is about repairing and restoring
Exactly.
and growing Black communities, right?
Yeah.
So what you're saying absolutely will grow Black communities. Now, people can say, "Hey, what's some of the largest, you know, projects you worked on? What's one of the one that stands out?"
Oh, one stands out. Oh, this is going to be heavy, man, because they put me off the project. They put me off the project.
They put you off the project?
Yeah, Mr. Lewis, Kenny Lewis, on Lincoln Highway. That's called Dusty's.
Yes.
I put that whole project together. Quiet as kept. I got the plumbers, electricians, and all the guys, right? And I was doing the roof, and I had some of the union roofers on top of the roof, but I wasn't licensed at the time. And I got the project though, because I was innovative. but I messed around and got the project, and then they started protesting the project because I was in the union too. But
who
I
was
got
protesting?
And I'm telling it.
I said, who was protesting?
The union contractors.
Are these the white guys?
Yes, trust that and believe it. It was so many brothers on that roof. It was so many brothers on that project. And Mr. Lewis, I hope he's listening, because I was in the meetings with all the white guys, and they all was at the table, and they talking what they was trying to express to them, Mr. Lewis, what he needs. Mr. Lewis is Kenny Lewis, the real guy. That's Kenny.
Yeah.
But Kenny said, "What you think, Mr. Van Treese?" I said, "Hey, we need to do this, and we did it." Successful project. It's still
right.
It's up and running right now.
Wow.
Dusty's on Lincoln Highway. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good, man. Yeah. Good. Yeah, right. So now, when you look at the Black community, whatever side of the city you want,
mm-hmm.
and you think about this whole piece of Lincoln Yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many do you know, if there's any Black contractors involved with Lincoln Yards?
I don't think it's one.
See, that's criminal.
Yeah, it is.
That should have never been approved, period. And all of the money, I'm talking about TIF dollars,
yes,
and etc., going toward Lincoln Yards, as though the people in Lincoln Park don't have enough of everything already. But look, so let's go, forget about Lincoln Yards.
I was going to tell you that.
Talk about the South Side, Washington Park. Now, this whole thing with the
Obama project,
whatever that is, library or whatever, museum, entertainment center. How many Black folks involved with that?
Quite a few. Matter of fact, they just announced it tonight that they that's what they saying, Greg. That don't mean it's going to develop, but right now there's about I think it's 6 different Black contractors on that project, and we'll see. You know, and
I'm sure they done pissed off a lot of people, because their intentions was no Black people.
I'm not gonna, because I'm not
When
gonna
when I say that is
yeah.
that we've always been left out, but they know it's a very sensitive climate out here right now where people are stopping these projects when they don't see the participation
No.
of Black people, not minorities, Black people.
Black people, and that's what I use. That's what the whole key is, and that's what I know. Mark and all these other guys, Obadelli, I know what they saying. All they saying, they ain't saying minorities, because minorities consist of everybody. They saying Black people,
Everybody.
Black contractors, training Black men. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of these little brothers out here that's ready to be trained, Greg. They go to the left because of us. You can't blame them. They too young. You understand, Greg? We are at fault.
I agree.
If
I agree.
anything, we didn't take care of our business. What
Yes,
we
sir.
have to do right now is dig down and grab them and go take care of these little brothers like we were taken care of. You hear me? Our mothers and fathers took care of us. And you grew up 48, okay?
Yes.
And when we had a barbecue in either one hollered any holiday, the whole projects was lit up. You know why? Because our mothers and fathers was doing that. It wasn't just our mother, and it wasn't just our father. It was our mothers and father taking care of us. And I don't care how many Black women that's single, that's single family homes, we still as Black men have to stand up. I don't blame these young brothers. I blame us, Greg. And the industry, the construction industry has to be passed down to these little brothers from us.
And we got to know, and we have to know, for instance, that Obama did not sign the community benefits agreement with the Black community as he did the Hispanic community.
And I agree.
Right.
You know,
and so it's always double standard. And it's almost like people been so accustomed to disrespecting us, disregarding us. And that's why, man, we got to do this for ourselves. We cannot worry about the torpedoes. We have to go full speed ahead. And Michael, look,
yes, sir.
We got about maybe 25 minutes or something like that left. I'll check the time out. Look, your business, when you look at the concept of this excellent organization, repairing. Now, you might not need the repairing or restoring, but growing. How do we grow your business? What do we need to do as a community to grow your business, since you have been in it for 27 years? And it should be expanding to where we take over the industry as far as our community is concerned. Everybody else, let them work with their community.
I agree. I agree with you 110%. But how do we do that, Greg? What we have to do is stop putting so much emphasis on what they are doing. And start putting emphasis on what we are not doing.
Woo.
You heard me?
Brother. Teach.
I'm telling you, they are going to be the way they are. But are we going to continue to be the way we are? Accepting and acknowledging that they are greater than we are? No.
That's right.
There's not a man alive that put his pants on the way I do better than me. You understand? And that's what I was taught. And that's what, see, I can go into this construction, then go into the construction and explain all the entities that's going on in construction. But I'm gonna just emphasize on what's not going on in our households.
So your recommendation now, that's good. Don't worry about what they doing. Worry about what we need to do. So what other recommendations will you give to young men and women that are viewing this show? What is it about the construction business? Because and how do we excite them to even get into business? Because that ain't something that's being really motivated and taught. You were very fortunate, as you say, Mr. Brandon, how that went down with you
You're
How do
absolutely
we
right.
get these young people today to understand the power of construction and the industry?
Well, let me say this. Young white guys don't want to do construction no more because they doing the computers and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the internet. I got Greg. I got 6 boys.
6?
I got 6 boys and 3 girls.
Wow, all praise is due to the creator.
You already know. And what they do, a lot of the young people today is just like Black Lives Matter and all these cats. I
Did you
respect.
build a mansion?
Hey man, hey, I ain't I'm not hurting.
Look, you need to build a mansion. That many babies. That's
Well,
so
they
beautiful.
ain't babies no more. They all adults, Greg.
Right.
I'm
And
60 years old.
they doing good.
They doing outstanding.
All praise is due to the creator.
You absolutely right.
But go back on that thought. You was getting ready to say something about Black Lives, something matters. What is that? What was you getting ready to say?
Well, because Black lives do matter, and what we have to do is the question was, what do I think that's gonna propel us
Right,
forward?
right.
And what I think is, honestly, is we're not patient anymore. Stop being patient. Stop accepting that we okay, because we're not.
No, we're not.
You know what I mean? Our communities, when you look out the front door, Greg, our communities are not the way they used to be. You
Shameful,
know,
brother.
see,
Shameful.
what we have to do is graduate. It's time to go to another level. And if I can't do nothing tonight, as far as this interview is concerned, is I would like to uplift the young people to go even further, because they are the ones that the millenniums and the other cats, what they call them, I forget the name.
Next generation, whatever they call them.
Yeah, but they are
How
the
many
ones.
women? How many Black women are in this industry? Any?
Ooh,
Being
yes.
successful. I'm talking about Black women that are like very successful.
Man, I got a female as my partner. We got a Black female at that. But it's quite a few Black females in this industry, and they thriving, Greg. I'm telling you, the problem lies among Black males.
Mm.
You know, we dropped the ball once before, and if I'm not ashamed to say it, and I'm apologetic to the young
Right,
people,
right.
especially the young brothers. I'm apologetic to them because we have dropped the ball, but we can grab it just as quick as we dropped it. Now you throw a mean fastball, boy, you can catch that ball. You know what I mean? Just as quick as we dropped it, we can catch it again. You
Yeah.
heard me?
Yeah, and I love that because that's why I mentioned growing. That's how we help you in terms of growing the business. We have to repair some, we have to restore others, but we have to grow those businesses in the Black community. And we have to make it very clear, just like you said, Sister Karen and others. Talk about looking outside of their door and starting right there by cleaning our community and having a vision to see our communities repaired, restored. Because when we look at all the different things, some of these homes, you see the fence and you see the yard or the roof or whatever just falling off. And you would think there would be so many men, tradesmen, going down the street that look like us, getting paid to repair those.
Exactly. Because we were the ones that did all the repairs. We did all the construction for years and years and years, man, here in the United States of America. And to see all this new construction going on, and we have no say, no hands-on. We have none of this in the industry. And don't get me wrong, because it's changing now. Right now, with everything that's going on, we as Black men, Black women, Black people have to take full advantage of it. Because sometimes taking full advantage means something negative, but this is a positive thing within our communities.
Well, let me tell you something. Independence Bank.
Yeah.
When I worked at Independence Bank,
I remember that, Greg.
yeah, I'm trying to think of the brother, the construction company, the same brother that built Independence Bank, built Reverend Johnny Coleman's church over there off 119th. Same one. Now think about that. At that time, Dempsey Travis, Mr. Boutte, and George Johnson, and
what's his name?
John H. Johnson. But all of those cats, man, Jacoby Dickens, all Mr. Grady over at Seaway, Dempsey, all of those people, bro, and Mr. Gardner, they were doing
Mr. Gardner
with each other. They did business with each other.
That was Black Wall Street over again. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, and that was a Black construction company. And so when you see these projects growing up right now, and you see others come into the community, man, and they building banks and building schools or building this and that. How many schools do you know of that have been built by a Black company? Any?
No. I don't know. I don't know not one, being honest with you. But what I know is we back in the early years of our lives, the Black contractors, such as Mr. Brandon, was involved, and Independence Bank was his bank. And I used to go in that bank with him, and how he had so much respect walking in Independence Bank. And I'm trying to think of this guy's name, Greg, that he used to own the Dayton game, the East of the Rhine.
Oh, Mr. Barnes.
Mr. Barnes.
Moselle Barnes. Moselle Barnes.
Mr. Barnes is one of the guys that we gonna do a little.
Barnes loaded too.
Something deep, but he never was the most, what you want to call, book educated. Mr. Brandon never was the most book educated, but they were very, very, very knowledgeable in taking care of our community.
Oh man, Mr. Barnes was an amazing brother, man, and it still is. Mr. Barnes would come and speak to me all the time, man. He really had a thing for me. He would see me because I was just at that time the parking lot attendant. We got about 6 more minutes, close to just 5. I'm gonna say 5 more minutes, and I want to give those 5 minutes to you, man. Is it anything else that we need to be focused on? I mean, it's one thing. Tell people first, how can they find you? Where you're doing some teaching at or recruiting at?
Our office
interested in the industry. How do they get involved with that construction, etc.? Our
office is at 7144 South Exchange, and we are in second. And I really want to emphasize we're a second chance program, because a lot of the brothers that's been locked up and behind the wall need another chance at doing this again, because a lot of them are locked up and because they didn't do nothing. But the industry, Greg, is such a lucrative industry, and it's easy, man. You go to the school, because I went to the apprentice program. You go to the classes and they make it seem as if it's difficult, because that's the way it's supposed to sell. But the bottom line is, if I can't give you little brothers nothing to this evening, little sisters as well, it's easy. It's not hard to get in this industry. So go to the classes, go to the programs, and pick it up. This is, man, you do anything repetitious, you know that it gets easier. And like I said, our office is at 7144 South Exchange. Feel free, come in, stop in anytime. We got applications, and we got a cleaning company as well. No problem cleaning. SSM Construction. Please come in and hang out.
Before you leave, I see I see the president, the great Miss Denise, and I know she got some burning questions. Denise laid it all out.
I love it.
Denise, you got any questions before we let this amazing
This
brother
this
that I
is
have
this
respect and love for?
this has been wonderful, Michael. Thank you for coming on, and I can attest to his support of young Black men, because he came to my home, and you had about 5 or 6 guys,
Yep.
young guys that came, and they painted my whole house.
And she got a big house.
And he was, yeah, he was working with them, and so I know Michael, and I think that's the point he's trying to make, is we all got a role to play out here, the businessmen, and as Black men and Black women, we have a role to play out here as individuals to make a difference and to reach out to our young people and
Right.
support them and encourage them, and open doors for them, and open opportunities for them. And so that's what I'm getting out of what you're saying tonight, Mike.
You know me, Denise. That's
Yes.
that's spot on. You know me.
And what I love, Mike, is you are not letting none of the stuff that go on get you down, and you are plugged with your community. You know all of the moving parts. And I like this second chance piece. Do you have women involved with the second chance too, Black women?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
About at what rate? I mean, I'm
Well,
sure
see,
probably more men.
my partner is a female, and you better believe, just like our mothers and fathers, just like our mothers and grandmothers, she's one of them grandmothers, and
Good.
she had the young ladies involved, and she mean that they got to be involved. Don't come half tail with her. Or you
I
gonna
love
get,
it.
yeah. So
So opportunities for young men, and I like that, man. And you got to come back. You got to come back,
it'll
because
be my pleasure, brother.
construction industry.
Now
is
I
a
do,
big deal.
Greg. I do have one question I want to ask him, Mike,
Yes,
before he
ma'am.
goes. There's a big question that is looming in the Black community now, and it's about the saturation of immigrants in our community, and how is that impacting the industry, for Black people, and especially here in Chicago.
Well, you know what we have to do, just as much as they are, Denise, is the hunger. We gotta our hunger and our thriving, because it does affect it. Because it does make young brothers think that, oh, y'all just want to hire these guys. But the bottom line is, you just got to be just as hungry as they are, or even hungrier. So the narrative that it's taken away from us, no, I don't think so. What we have to do is just want it just as much as they do. And I guess that's the best way I can put it, because we got to want it too. And we got to motivate each other to thrive for it.
And Mike, that I'm glad, Denise, you posed that question, because the word saturates mean like they everywhere, and when they looking for someone to do the work, they can't find us, but they can find you over on 71st and Exchange
with no problem.
And they could also find you. Do you do any other kind of social media things where
just like this podcast, I'm getting hip, because I really didn't.
I'm glad.
I really didn't do it. Denise is part of the motivation.
That's why Denise, bro. Now what you just said is the main reason this organization is on the case right now to deal with that, is to bring brothers like you up front, out in the opening, to talk about what you provide, so people will know you don't have to go with these groups that have saturated our community. Here's a brother that can do it better and can do it greater. And he have people that look just like us working.
Well, it's
That's
about
what
that.
we have to
It's
be
about that
more.
time, Greg. It's about that time. You
And we
know,
got to be aggressive. We got
Yeah.
to be aggressive with
you
it.
gotta want it. You gotta want it.
Well, man, thank you so much, Mike. Man, I am so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Proud, man. I want to do one of them. Denise, Chris Tucker was in one of them movies. He was talking to somebody in one of them movies. It was a silly movie. He's like, "Hey, man, you doing that way?" Denise, she didn't say nothing when you said we did her house, and she got a big old house. Look, I'm like, now I know where I can get some money from you and Denise. Y'all rolling in dough.
Oh man,
But
we
y'all
just
so
living.
humble. But I want to thank, the founders of this great organization, Denise and Doris. They are amazing.
Great
And,
job.
and I'm so glad that they found it necessary, and Denise connected, man, with you. So thank you so much, man. You look good, you sound good,
Thanks, sir.
and I hope that you and your family and everybody else, man. This man know where I live at 4848, y'all.
They all know you.
He
They
didn't
all
call
know
me.
you.
He didn't call me Cisco either.
I was meant to. Hey, Denise.
Damn, he was probably.
And I want to make a final remark here. We changed our name to our podcast to Behind Black Business. We've changed our name. We have the young lady that was working with us. She's no longer working with us, but Brother Gregory, I called him and he graciously accepted to pick up the mantle and continue this work. And I was a little reluctant to ask you about coming on every week. I was saying, well, if you can come on once a month, but he said, no, this is serious business here. We need to do this every week. And so we are so appreciative of you and your commitment, and have someone as talented as you are to be able to take on this mantle. So we really appreciate you.
Well, thank you all, because look, the feelings are mutual, and we're gonna work it all out, and we're gonna unify what we can unify. We are one people, and we know that God will absolutely bless us to be successful, because this is not to enrich us. This is to really go and build back strong communities, man. So,
Right.
but look, I've never heard of a concept. I mean, that turned me on right away. Repair, restore, and grow Black communities.
That's right.
That's deep, bro.
Me too.
The minute I heard it, Michael, I was like, damn, did this come to somebody in a dream or something?
Thank you,
know?
Nixon.
I mean, it's very powerful. Mike, I hope you have a wonderful evening, man. Thank you so much. Again, your information is solid, and people know where to find you.
Yes, sir.
And if they need, before we leave, real quick, what's the major thing that you all provide that you can see that? Because look, right now, I know a bunch of people, roofs, well, maybe in Houston, Texas, but what is it right now that you can come and fix and help Black people with right now?
Well,
they're looking.
And I'm gonna just be honest, because it's all about diversifying, Greg. It's total construction, man. We're not just trying to do this. We're gonna bring enough young brothers in where we do some of this, and some of that.
Oh, good.
More than anything, once again, I just want to say, we built this country. They are rehabbing it.
Woo! With that,
all right. That's the way to end it.
That's a great way to end it. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Keep peace, y'all.
All right.
Peace and love.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Nisi.
All right. Okay.
Peace.